Alright guys, YouTube says I'm live, so I must be live, right? Internet never lies, correct? Welcome in. Come on in, find you a nice comfy seat. This is Hanging with Dave. What episode are we on this week? This is episode 45. And it's basically a Q&A like always. You know, we kind of go down through the comments of the past week, you know, on my videos and whatnot. Answer any questions that I can. There's a few disclaimers I do here on the live show. Number one is, it is a Saturday, so I did enjoy me a cold Budweiser. So cheers to y'all. Hope you all find yourself well on this weekend. And number two, I'm a truck driver by trade. So you may hear foul language from time to time. I apologize for that up front. You know, if the drinking or the foul language offends you, maybe this ain't the right stream for you, because it will happen, and it does happen from time to time. I try to keep the cussing to a minimum, but you know, every once in a while it does slip out. And when I'm reading through the comments or I'm reading through chat, you know, I never know what anybody's going to say, and I read it. You know, it's just the way I am. But you know, if y'all was live, you know, and I'd be more than welcome to join in the chat. Resort to the great. Cheers, Dave. Drinking a cold one myself. I'm glad you're enjoying a cold one with me today. Good to see you. Maxter, 1878. Good afternoon, Dave. Good to see you. I'm glad you could join the stream today, Maxter. I want to welcome you all in. Thank you all for being here with me this morning, or this afternoon, or whatever time it is where you're watching from. I had a comment last week that someone was wanting me to change the time of my live stream, and unfortunately, I know I can't please everybody with that. You know, I do my live streams pretty well when's the best time for me. You know, I'm sorry for the ones that can't join in when I'm live. You know, but you know, with everybody being around the world like they are, you know, it's kind of hard to please everybody. So yeah, there is that. Also, y'all know I'm not very good with the English language, let alone these YouTube handles, so I want to apologize if I butcher your names too bad. Sometimes it gets kind of funny, actually. So, yeah. Sycamode, Dave. Hey, Dave, hope your Saturday's going well. Yeah, it's going pretty good today, actually. Actually, I hired someone to help me do some work around the house and whatnot today, and they got a little bit done this morning for me, which is a big help to me, actually. Welcome in. Glad you found the stream. Glad you could join me on this morning. But I'm going to go down through these comments. I'm going to pronounce these names the best that I can. Anytime you guys want any advice or you have any kind of comments in your life, make sure you throw them out there in the chat. You know, I'll answer them as I can, the best that I can. And I don't know if I got any this week or not. I haven't really got to go down through my comments too much. But if there is any overclocking comments, you know, and I throw this out there at the beginning just due to the fact that, you know, a lot of people, I don't know, they kind of take the fun out of overclocking. You know, they want someone to tell them exactly what they can run the ports at. And even if I got the same exact ports that you do, you know, it may not, you know, my exact ports may not run the same as your ports do. You know, it's called the silicon lottery. You know, I could have the exact same ports and then you get better overclock, or maybe not quite as good as overclock as I can get out of my ports, but I do the best I can for answering those. Let's get rid of the self-promotion here. Get away with them guys. Alright, we're going to flip you over here. We can start going down through these comments. See what everybody's saying about me this week. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but we're going to find out together, right? Flip you over here to the screen here. And like always, I'm going to start with the oldest ones. 6 days ago. H1T1, 6 days ago. Last week's Hanging with Dave, he's clapping at me. I'll take that as a good thing. And When I get started with all these, I want to appreciate y'all for the likes and the comments and the views on the channel here. Hope you guys find some kind of entertainment or some kind of useful information on my videos. Now, I'll say here at the beginning, I'll say at the end, I want to thank y'all for the comments. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. We have revealed the great 5 days ago on last week's live stream. Damn, sorry I missed your live stream. Cheers, Dave. Well, cheers to you. Hope you made it in this week. This week I'm back to 11 a.m. instead of 5 p.m. like I have been for the last couple of weeks. But I'll get into that towards the end of the stream here. But basically it's because of my my job, If you're new around the channel, sometimes my job is mandatory Saturday work, so I can't do it at 11 a.m. That's when it goes to 5 p.m. But I try to keep it at 11 a.m. on Saturdays. And sorry about the background noise. My dog's over there having a hissy for some reason. You got a scratch. You got an itch you can't scratch or something. Let's see here. 3 days ago, it was H1T1. He gave me a smiley face on episode 43 of Hanging with Dave. Thank you for that. Maxter 1878. Did you hear the 3070 is delayed? Hopefully it means they launch with decent stock levels. Yeah, I did hear that. I heard the 3070 was delayed on the launch, and I'm hoping that's what they're doing. They're fixing that. They're fixing the bots and buying them all up. I hope they're gonna make sure they have enough in stock. With that NVIDIA launch, there's a lot of controversy around that. I haven't done no videos on it because I believe there's enough out there about it. But yeah, I heard that they did delay it. I think it's going to be for the best, because that's going to be the one that 2080 Ti performance at $500. It's going to be a pretty good deal, and a lot of people are going to be looking for that card. I'm actually looking to get one myself just to have some content for the channel, but yeah, I heard it was delayed, and I think it's going to be for the best. I hope that means that they're going to have enough in stock, and they'll be able to put up extra precautions to stop these bots from buying them all up, like the 3080s and the 3090s. Let's see, who else do we got here on the hit list for today? We got Nuba Missa, I guess, 3 days ago. That was on the Samsung curved monitor, 27-inch CF396 unboxing overview. 144 hertz. Actually, I think that's only 60 hertz. CF, what was the number on that? 396? I believe that's only 60 hertz monitor. I believe, actually I don't run one. My girlfriend runs that, but I believe it's 60 hertz. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get the specs on it. Amazon, I think Amazon says something about it here. 27-inch 16:9. Yeah, it's only a 60 hertz monitor and 144 hertz. So it is only 60 hertz, but it means it's easier for your computer to run, so you don't need such a powerful graphics card, right? Sycamore Dave, would you recommend a GTX 1660 Super AAA gaming at 1080p? Yeah, I mean, depending on what your budget is, 1660 Super is pretty good for a budget build, and to get you into 1080p. I'm actually looking at getting one of them. I've actually put in a couple bids on eBay trying to win them for a cheaper price than what retail is on them, because I'm looking to do about a $500 build, $450 build with used ports, combination of used and new ports. But I think the 1660 Super is pretty good for the AAA titles nowadays. Depending on your CPU as well, and what kind of RAM you're planning on running. That plays a big part in it. Because if your CPU ain't powerful enough, it'll actually hold back your GPU. But yeah, I'd recommend a 1660 for 1080p AAA titles. It depends on what you want to play at. If you're happy with 60 hertz, or if you want a high refresh rate, I think you'd be alright with a with a 60 hertz or with a 1660 Super. Billing DeHolt, I guess is the way you pronounce that. My new 4K monitor is broken. My computer is not projecting 38 by 40 by 2160. I have a Radeon R3 video card. Your 4K monitor is broken. If you're, I'm not really too sure on that. Your 4K monitor is broken. My computer is not projecting 3840 by 2160. Radeon R3. I don't even know if they even support that resolution or not. I don't know if they even support a I don't even know if they even supply a review specs and performance. Do they even support a 4K? They were released in 2015. Which R3 do you got? I know there's several of them made. Dr. Dragon. Hey Dave, hope you have a good Saturday. Great that you could keep this time. Better time to each for overseas. I really enjoy your videos about yourself. Yeah, I want to go into that video a little bit more in detail towards the end of the stream here. I don't know. I got a lot out of that video that I had recorded, but I feel that there's a lot that I left out of it. So I'm hoping to kind of clarify why I put some of that into the video and some of why I didn't put into the video. I hope you can stay around to the end of the live stream here to hear more about that video if you're interested in that. Brian, I need help providing Wi-Fi to the whole house. Should I buy now or wait for Wi-Fi 6? If you can hold off, I'd wait till Wi-Fi 6. It's going to be a faster connector, and it's also going to give you a better range. If you can, I mean, if you're happy with what you got right now, I'd hold off for Wi-Fi 6. Get a router and maybe the hotspots for the house that does Wi-Fi 6. Because Wi-Fi 6 right now is, you know, it's right around the cusp. It's right around the corner. It's going to be coming out fairly soon. You know, if you can hold off, I'd hold off till Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, but if you, which R3 video recorder you run, it depends on if it even supports the, supports 4K or not. It may not even support 4K. Let's see here, what was that? A Noob Missay. I didn't answer that one. That is a 60 hertz monitor, not 144 hertz. Sorry to disappoint you with that one. Let's see here, what else? Who else we got here? We have Roject Gaming, I guess the way you pronounce him. You got 124 subscribers. That was on my background and how I got started in the computers. He says, started a gaming channel. I actually started a gaming channel and I streamed to it one time and I closed it down. I figured I'd better put all my attention that I got, all the time I have available, to build this channel before I spread out into a gaming channel. Maybe if I can get this channel up and going strong enough, maybe I'll go back to a gaming channel. I'd like to do a gaming channel, but it's just a time thing. I really don't have time to do that. And I kind of don't want to put gaming up on this channel. If you watch the about my background and how I got started in computers, you know, right now YouTube is my game. I play, you know, trying to get this channel up and going. It takes up all my free time, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the video process. You know, I enjoy filming, I enjoy the editing, You know, I'm kind of addicted to it, like I said in that video. But, you know, YouTube is kind of my game right now because it takes up all my free time that I have. I really don't have time to game. But maybe one day I'll be able to start a gaming channel, but it just ain't in the near future for me. Sigmo Dave, can you explain why the RDN2 GPU on the Xbox Series S is only capable of 4 teraflops, but it can play 1440p at 120 fraps? A card like the 1660 Super can do 5.5 teraflops, but can't perform as well. I haven't done much research into that, but the RDN2, it's because of the process that the node is made on and the technology that goes into it. It's much more advanced than what the 1660 Super is. Like I said, I haven't done much research into it, but I'm going to say that's probably going to be the best explanation I got at this point without looking into it. It's just the way that NVIDIA, when they made the 1660 Super, they wasn't expecting for the 1440p at 120 flaps. But if you take that 1660 Super and you overclock it to be able to match the speed of the RDN2, you probably get close to it. But I'm going to say it's because of the architecture, the smaller node in the RDN2, and the way they have had time to recalculate the way that GPU works is going to be the biggest thing. I mean, you're right. You know, it's got less teraflops, and it can do it. But you know, NVIDIA wasn't really looking at 1440p at 100 fraps at the time, which I think they're going to be improving on that as well. I know it's kind of a runabout answer, but you know, it's about the best I got without looking into it. I'd say it's just because of the way they got the architecture inside the chip. Are you going to unbox a face mask designed by Apple? I got one. It is state of the art. The experience putting it on was amazing, and power to the people by means of safety. Didn't even know Apple even made a face mask, to tell you the truth. But I ain't much into the Apple products as well. But the whole face mask thing, I think it's just a craze. I think it's going to disappear after the elections. That's just one man's guess. But nah, I probably won't be doing an unboxing on it. Like I said, I didn't even know Apple even made a face mask. And it's kind of crazy that the Apple people's getting into something like that. But yeah, I don't believe I'll be doing an unboxing of it. The mask, I pretty well stay at home unless I'm working. And where I work out in New York by myself, so I don't have to wear a mask. I doubt if I'll be doing an unboxing of it. I didn't even know, like I said, I didn't even know Apple was even making one. Masker 1878 consoles are much better optimized and are programmed to process fare better with much less going on in the background. Yeah, you're right there. That's the difference. That's the big difference between consoles and PCs. Consoles is made for one thing, and that's the game. Computers, you have such a wide variety of stuff that a PC can do over a console, which, I don't know, consoles is trying to catch up, but I don't think they'll ever match what PC can do. And if they could do what PC can do, they'll take away from the gaming experience as far as the console goes. But yeah, that is a good point. Rizville the Great, face masks are for the scared. Yeah, it's for the scared. Face mask, I think, is overrated myself. I know, even in the area I live in, I come from a smaller town, you know. I live in West Virginia. You know, anytime we go in any place, we're supposed to have one and this and that. And I abide by this. I'm not scared. You know, if the way I look at it, if I'm meant to catch this stuff and it kills me, it's going to happen regardless if I wear a face mask or not. But, you know, it's just like anything else in life. You know, why don't you kill people? Why don't you bust the speed limit in front of a cop? Why don't you run a red light in front of a cop? You know, it's because it's a law or it's a rule, you know. It is what it is. Face masks, I think, is stupid. I don't think they're preventing a whole lot of this stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't have to wear one at work, like I said. You know, I'm out in the yard by myself, so I don't really have to worry about the work situation. But I still feel that after the election, the face mask is going to go away. But that's just one man's opinion. You know, it is what it is. You know, and I'll continue to do what I have to do to make people happy and to make people feel more comfortable. I think that's pretty well what it is, just people feeling more comfortable. Even though they're stupid, you can't breathe through them. You know, I smoke cigarettes, and it's hard for me to breathe through a face mask. But, you know, it is what it is, and it just gives me a better reason to stay away from people. So I'm happy with it. Alright, we'll flip you back over here, and we'll go through some more of these comments we got here. The gaming channel I just answered. My background and how I got started on computers. I got iRacer, iGhost. I think most kids come from console to PC. Aegis, Azrak, I guess the way you pronounce that. Sure, yeah, I think a lot of people start in console and they end up going into PC. So consoles are good in their own ways, but PCs, if you ask me, it's a little bit better. You know, consoles are pretty well locked at 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second, depending on your TV. You know, and the console, you can only do so much with the console. You know, you really can't do as much with a console as you can a PC, which, like I said, you know, they're trying to improve that, but I don't think they'll overmatch it. Because the console would have to be so much more powerful than what they're actually putting out. Billion D-Hobbit. The PS5 pre-order was canceled by Amazon. I am so mad I should wear a BLM t-shirt and then get myself a new PS5 by looting and rioting. And looting and rioting to me is never the right way to go for anything myself. The PS5, do yourself a favor, get your computer. That's just the way I look at it. I don't know. I mean, I guess consoles got the place in gaming and whatnot. If you watch my backstory, you know, I started out with the Nintendo, and then I ended up in the Commodore 64, which got me into computers. And once I got into the I couldn't get back to console. I mean, I think the last console I bought, which my late wife bought me, was the 360, the original Xbox 360. And she was so anxious to buy me one, she actually ordered me one from Japan. By the time I got it, I couldn't even play American games on it. So yeah, it was one of them things. But consoles really just ain't my cup of tea anymore. Let's see here. We have Andia Kadua. I don't know. It's a foreign name and they don't pronounce right in the U.S. That was on my background and how I got started. I am so sorry to hear about your wife and your childhood wasn't pretty. It all must have been hard on you, but I'm glad to see you doing what you love now. I hope you continue doing what you love and be happy. Yeah, it was kind of hard for my Me losing my wife, that was kind of hard on me. My childhood, it wasn't the prettiest, but it made me who I am today. You know, I mean, I'm a stronger man because of it. I am doing what I love, the YouTube thing, you know, the computers is what I really love. It's what I really have a passion to do. And being happy, even in my childhood and everything else, you know, I was still happy. You know, I mean, I don't know, I had a lot of choices to make, and some of them wasn't the best, but it is what it is, and it made me who I am, and I am a lot happier nowadays. Let's see here. We got Maxter 1878. Thanks for sharing your story, Dave. So sorry I heard to hear about your wife. Hope you have found peace and happiness now. You seem like a sincerely nice guy. Best wishes for the future. I hope your content and channel grows to the high level you deserve. Well, I'm gonna say cheers to that one. Thank you for that comment. And yeah, I'm got some talking to do about that here towards the end of the live stream, about that last video I put up. There's reasons behind it. Peace and happiness. Yep, I found both of them. Sincerely nice guy. I am. I'd rather help somebody than be greedy. I don't know, just the way I was raised, I guess. I hope your content, your channel grows to the high levels you deserve. I appreciate that one, Master. I ain't gonna give up. You know, I'm stubborn, I'm hard-headed. You know, and that's part of what my childhood's taught me. Don't ever give up on yourself. You just keep on going. Sick mode, Dave. I'm running a Ryzen 5 3400G with single channel 16 gig RAM. Would you recommend dual channel RAM with an RX 5500 XT or stick with the single channel and a 1660 Super? Thanks for all the answers. 3400G, it's 4 core, 8 thread. Yeah, not too bad. Single channel 16 gig RAM. 5500 XT or the 1660 Super. That depends on the titles that you like playing. The 5500 XT is bumping right up against the 1660 Super. Dual channel RAM, you're going to always see a big benefit in dual channel RAM. If you already got 16 gig and single channel, it'd probably be cheaper for you to buy the exact same kit, or the exact same RAM kit, the stick that you got the 16 gigs, match it up and populate it. It'd probably be easier than buying, you know, pulling that 16 gig out and putting another 2 8 gigs in it. If you're playing AAA titles, you'd see a big difference in dual channel, between dual channel and single channel. Between the 5500 XT or the 1660 Super. If you're playing 1080p, AAA title, the 5500 XT is a little sluggish. You know, you may have to cut back your settings a little bit to be able to get 60 frames per second. Well, 1660 Super is a little bit more advanced, a little bit better for 1080p gaming. I'd definitely get you a dual channel set of RAM either way you go. And it depends on the titles. Are you playing AMD optimized titles or are you playing NVIDIA optimized titles? You know, that makes a big difference in it. And it depends on your budget. I'd definitely get dual channel RAM. That makes a big difference in games. And the rest depends on the kind of titles that you're playing and if they're NVIDIA or AMD title. You know, not a lot of people actually talk about this, but you know, a lot of titles is optimized for either AMD video cards or NVIDIA graphics cards. It depends on the title. Sorry that ain't a real straight answer for you, or it ain't a trade a recommendation, but without knowing the titles that you play, the resolution that you want to play at, the frame rates you want to play at, it's kind of hard to answer that question. But I definitely do dual channel RAM. Like I said, you got 16 gigs now. I'd buy another RAM stick that is the same as what you got now and put it in there, go up to 32 gigs, which that's going to be overkill for right now. But you're going to see a big difference in your gaming performance. You're going to see a big difference in your system. To buy another 16 gig kit or another 16 gig RAM that matches that one, you know, I think it's going to be cheaper to go that route than buying a whole kit of 2 8 gig sticks, which I could be wrong on that one, but you know, I think it'd be cheaper just to get the extra 16 gig RAM stick. Let's see here, where was I at? Okay, we had Maxter 1878, answered that one. Joe Keller, how to overclock your Ryzen 5 2400G on the Gigabyte B450 port 3. Hey, nice video, but nothing changes. I see how you show, but it does not work. If you watched all 3 ports of that, and I mean, that was kind of a learning experience for myself. And if you go down through all 3 ports and you actually do the way I did it, which I'm hoping my overclocking videos in the future ain't like that, which I'm gonna get into that towards the end of the show as well. But it should work. I don't understand why it ain't working right. Sick Mode Dave, pretty much preparing for Cyberpunk and the new COD. 60 fraps 1080p is good enough for me. Cyberpunk. I believe Cyberpunk is going to be the NVIDIA title. I believe they're leaning more towards NVIDIA than they are the AMD graphics cards. So you're probably better with the 1660 Super, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if there's any information leaked on that or not. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2070 system requirements. Let's see what the system requirements is on this thing for 1080p. Let's see here. Minimum requirements. Man, we don't deal with minimum. Recommendation. 4790K. Man, that's easy to get to. Ryzen 3 3200G. That's easy to get to. NVIDIA 1660 6 gig or AMD Radeon 49. I would definitely go with the 1660 Super on that one. If that's the game that you're looking to play the most of, yeah, I'd definitely do the 1660 Super over the 5600 XT. Just by that one statement right there, and right there that's highlighted, I'm going to say it's going to be an NVIDIA title. The Radeon R9 Fury was a decent card, but it's a little bit older architecture. And I think it's going to hold you back in different titles than what the 1660 is going to do. I'd definitely go with the GTX 1660 or the 1060. I'd definitely just go with the 1660. Get it over with. With the way that looks, I would say it's going to be a NVIDIA title. Let's see here. Pajime Pame, I guess we pronounce that. Dave, this timing is awesome. Well, thank you. This is the time that I normally like doing these live streams. I think more people are more available. Like I said earlier, it depends on my full-time job. I do the 5 p.m. when the job requires me to work this time of the day. But hopefully we're going to get away from that. Sick Mode Dave, in your opinion, how big of a deal is ray tracing? A gimmick or worth preparing for? I run the 2070 Super in my system, but I never bought that for ray tracing. I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it's going to be around. The new Radeon cards is supposed to be supporting ray tracing. Now, both companies is going after or focusing more on ray tracing. I think the ray tracing is going to be more likely to end up being something. Right now, NVIDIA is the only one that's got ray tracing. Big Navi's supposed to have ray tracing. Both companies kind of looking forward to or designing the cards around ray tracing. It tells me that it ain't a gimmick. I think as far as is it worth preparing for, I don't think there's much to prepare for. And I think the 3000 series GPUs is showing you this. If they don't show you anything, they show you the ray tracing is going to be available at an affordable price. Preparing, like I said, I don't see much preparing needing done for it. I don't think it's going to be like VR. Pretty well VR hit for a couple of years and it's kind of fell off. I think with NVIDIA and AMD both pursuing it, I think it ain't going to be just a gimmick. And they're actually getting ray tracing performance down to a reasonable price for, well, most people can afford it. I'm not saying everybody can afford it, but most people can afford to, you're looking at the 3070, with the performance it's got at 500, you're looking at the 30, I'm going to say the 3060. When it comes out, it's going to be probably a $300 graphics card with ray tracing enabled. See what Big Navi comes out with. But the me, ray tracing, I don't know. I mean, I like the looks, I like the texture of ray tracing, but to sit there and play a game in it, especially like a first-person shooter game, I don't know. I don't take time to look at all them graphical spectaculars, as far as the flames and all that, I don't know. That's kind of a hard question to ask. I don't see there being any really preparing for it. Ray tracing, I think it's going to be around for a while, and I think it's going to be a big deal because both companies is facing towards it. Let's see here, music and what's your age, man? I was born on March 20th of 1975. I am 45 years old this year. I think I'm 45. Ain't that right? 45? Yeah. I'm 45. Yes, I'm an old man. I know. Sycamore Dave, what's your long drive? Do you prefer listening to podcasts or music? Neither one. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to music. I never really been into music really. Even when I'm driving down the road, I usually have my radio off. I've never been into either one. Musicking, I am 14 years old. I got a youngster with me today. Sorry about the foul language you're hearing, and sorry about the drinking. What job do you do full time? I drive a truck. I'm what they consider a yard jockey, or I just move trailers around the yard. I can't no longer pass DOT physical, so I just put trailers in and out of doors as the warehouse needs to move around the yard. Pretty well, that's what I am. I'm the yard dog. Like I said in my video where I came from, my background and how I got into computers, I can't pass the DOT physical. So they offered me a driving position on the yard where I just put trailers in and out of the docks there at the warehouse. So that's what I do. I deal a lot with truck drivers though. Still to this day, it seems like trucking's in my blood and I can't get away from it. It's that old saying within truck drivers, you got the diesel in the blood. So that's what I do for the full-time living. That's what I do to pay my bills anyways. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Where did I stop at? Anybody know where I stopped at? I kind of lost my spot there. Music, thanks for answering. Subbed and liked. Love from India. Also, I love watching truck driving programs. I don't know how it is over in India, but over here in the U.S., man, I kind of went into that on my background video. I made decent money driving truck. Gave up quite a bit to do it, but, I made a decent living driving truck. And here in the U.S., if you got a CDL, you got a decent driving record, you got a job. I mean, just that simple. May not be the best, may not be what you exactly want, but you can always find work in that profession. So I know I did Max through 1878. Okay, I did the overclocking, but nothing changes. Don't know why that's happening. Music, in a few years I'll come USA and meet you. Yep, come on over, guys. I'm always up for meet and greet as long as you're local. As long as you ain't too far away. I don't know. But you're more than welcome to reach out to me if you're going to be in my local area. Let's see here. What else do we got here? We have going to conscript, I guess. How to overclock your RAM. My timings are short and being taken, just very slow. It defaults to auto, but after a few resets, it takes the timing I put in. I also do not have the overall settings like you do, so I'm assuming I have to put them in the sub settings and each channel. I also have no idea still how to change the memory frequency, so it is stuck to 2133. Oh, excuse me. Apparently you ain't using the Gigabyte B450M motherboard, which I'll be talking a little bit about that here in a little bit. Music, and good night. Bye. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. Sorry to see you go, but I understand. I hope you enjoy your nap. You have a good night's sleep there, bud. Very slow. Defaults to auto. Yeah, enjoyed. Thanks. You're welcome, buddy. Appreciate you joining me. Not too sure on how to answer this guy's question, actually. I will go now and we'll talk forever. Now, good night, bud. Enjoy your evening. My timings are sort of being taken, just very slow. I've defaulted to auto, but after a few resets it takes and the timing I put in. I also do not have an overall setting like you do. I assume I have to put them in and the sub settings for each channel. I also have no idea still how to change the memory frequency, so it is stuck to 2133. Yeah, apparently you ain't using the same motherboard. If you're using the same motherboard, it may depend on the BIOS that you're running. Because I know different manufacturers of motherboard has different ways of doing it. That's why I labeled that as overclocking your RAM on that particular motherboard. Which I heard the B550 one is actually a little different than what the B450 was. I'm not too sure on what to tell you on that. Don't know how to answer that question. Sorry, I can't help you. Let's see, H1T1, 2 days ago. Great video. That was on my background, how I got started in computers. Well, thank you. Appreciate the comment. Casey, I know it must be hard to talk about that, but thank you for doing it. You are a big reason why I got into computers. Have a nice day. Well, thank you. Yeah, that video was kind of hard for me to put together. That's why you kind of see my head moving. There was a lot of splits and a lot of cuts in that video when I was doing the editing to it. Yeah, that was a pretty hard one for me to do. It took me, well, I thought about doing that for probably a year or better before I actually put that one together. I still don't know if I made the right choices for what to put into it and what not to put into it. Ackman Knight 13, my background. Thanks for being such a positive channel, Dave. We appreciate your passion. I definitely have a lot of passion. I am a passionate person, especially when it comes to computers and gaming, but I just don't have a whole lot of time to game anymore. He also came back. Glad I'm not the only person that says ouch out loud when I get hit in a game. Nice stream, Dave. That was on the Borderlands 3 live stream after story mode, port 1. Yeah, I get kind of vocal when I play my games when I get a chance to do so. We have Mike Malone. Thank you, sir. This helped me to set my RAM to a higher frequency without using the dreaded XMP, which crashed my system. You are awesome. Well, thank you. And you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could help you. That's why I did that. You know, a lot of people, they don't have RAM that's compatible to XMP or DOCP, so that's why I kind of did that. Of course, it depends on the motherboard. Like I said earlier, you know, I had someone tell me that the B550M DS3H motherboard is different than the B450M. I'm actually thinking about picking one of them B550M DS3H motherboards up to actually explore that. I don't know yet. I haven't really made up my mind on that yet. Reservoir the Great, my background. You are the man, Dave. Well, I don't know if I am a man. I don't know if I'm the man, but I am a man. But thank you, appreciate that. Dr. Dragon, on my background, great video. Thanks for sharing your story, Dave. You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed. They have Seawick, I guess the way you pronounce that. Overclocking your RAM, great video with an easy explanation. Thank you, kind sir. You are welcome. I hope that got your RAM up to where you wanted it to be. What else we got here? We have HX. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Expatonic, I guess the way you pronounce it. That's the way I want to pronounce it. Overclocking your RAM. Can someone help me, please? I bought 16 gigs of RAM at 3200 megahertz, and it is set to 2400. But when I put in 3200, it goes to 800. You bought 3200 megahertz of RAM. When you put in 3200 megahertz, it goes to 800 megahertz. Huh. That's interesting. I've never seen that happen before, especially if your RAM gets rated for 3200 megahertz RAM. That's a little confusing. You got 3200 kit. 2400 is the base, okay. When you put it into 3200, it goes to 800 megahertz RAM. What processor are you running? Would be my question on that one. Because the processor, what your processor is running at, if you're running like an Athlon or something like that, if you run anything less than a 3000 Ryzen 3 processor, it may not accept the 3200 megahertz RAM. It depends on the processor. That'd be my guess on that. I don't know why I'd be kicking it down to 800 megahertz when it's running stock at 2400. Kind of confusing. That'd be my number one question is which processor you're running. Who else do we got here? Rafael Amenda Tadora, I guess the way you pronounce that. Overclocking your RAM. Didn't realize I had to put in manual. Thanks a lot. Well, you're welcome a lot. I hope it got you up to where you needed to be. Kahada Ababa. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte motherboard. Is this man drunk or what? That's a little bit older video. Don't know. I could have been drunk when I did that one. It all depends. I couldn't tell you. Can't remember. But it is definitely possible. Kahua A, 9 hours ago. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. Hope you are well. This is a great help. More videos to come. Thank you. Yep, there's more videos to come from me. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I'm glad I helped you out getting that BIOS updated on that motherboard. 1 hour ago, we have Fabio Nito, I guess the way you pronounce that. How to update the BIOS on the Gigabyte B450 DS3H motherboard. Thanks, man. This was really helpful. Well, I'm glad I could help you. I'm glad I got your BIOS up to date for you. Let's see if we got anything else that came in here recently. Okay, here we go. Musician 7 minutes ago. Interesting video, sure. Keep this going. And that was on Should You Overclock the Ryzen 3600 with the Wraith Spire Stealth Cooler. Musician 2 minutes ago. Just like Forrest Gump, inspiring story. Hope you are now living at your happiness. And that was on my background. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good for myself today. Just like Forrest Gump. Yeah, I was the real live version of Forrest Gump when I was growing up. I think that's going to be pretty well it for the comments. I don't think there's anything else to go through here. No likely spam, no held for reviews, which there shouldn't be nothing held for review. Alright guys, that's going to pretty well wrap it up for the questions and the comments that was left on the videos for the week. It's going to pretty well wrap that part up. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, throw them in the chat now. Because there is like a 90-second delay or whatever. You know, you guys get done typing your questions. It takes a little while for it to come through the system to me. Which I'll be more than happy to answer your questions and comments and your concerns or anything else you have going on in your life. Well, especially tech related. I don't know how good I am at a psychologist's job, but you know, I'll be more than willing to try to help you. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I gotta readjust myself. Alright. Well, that's gonna pretty well wrap it up for that section. The channel hasn't done too bad this week. Let's see, the last 7 days. We have had 21 subscribers in the last 21 days. That's pretty good, not bad. I'll take that. So the channel is growing. I did see a lot of comments this week going back and forth. Which, like I said in the past, I ain't very good at the replies or even how to even pull them up. But there was quite a few conversations going in through the comments of the channel. I appreciate you guys helping each other out, trying to answer each other. You know, I appreciate you all that watch my videos. that gives me comments, gives me likes and the shares. You know, I really appreciate that. I'm glad you all, that, you know, it means a lot to me. It really does. This last video I put up on my background and how I got started. I actually sat there this morning and actually watched that. And if you actually watch the video, there is a lot of cuts in that video, and I didn't realize they were so apparent. You know, they stuck out like a sore thumb. Talking about my past, as y'all know, if you watched that video, you know, it was pretty painful past. It took a lot for me to do that. I put it off for 6 months or better, even doing that video. Because I didn't know if anybody'd be interested in it, and some of the stuff I mentioned in that video, it was pretty hard to mention. Some of it I didn't mention, you know, like I said earlier, you know, there's some parts that I probably shouldn't have cut out that I did. There's some parts that I left in that I probably shouldn't have. But that is my backstory, you know, as far as my legs and the fighting and whatnot, you know. That's who made me who I am today. And I wasn't looking for a pity party for anybody. Chauvin Kane, hey man, how are you? I'm doing pretty good on Saturday, buddy. I'm glad you came in and joined me for the day. You know, I didn't put that video out for a pity party. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. I didn't have a very good childhood, you know. I did lose my wife, you know. It is what it is, you know. It's life. You gotta man up, you gotta buck up, and you gotta do what you gotta do. After watching that video, it seems like it was a pity party. I was wanting people to feel sorry for me. That ain't what I meant by that video. You know, yeah, I got bad legs. Yeah, I was picked on. You know, that kind of stuff that's kind of veered me into the gaming, you know, as far as Nintendo and the Sega Genesis and the PlayStation, you know, it kind of got me into the gaming aspect, because I still yet to this day, I don't feel comfortable being around people. And that's kind of why I put that part into the video. Losing my wife, yeah, it's a sad thing, it's a terrible thing. But that also explains why there was like a 1.5 to 2 year gap in my channel. If you go back and look at my channel, actually I don't even know what it was. I think I started in 2015. My first video was put out on 2016. You know, and 2016 I was pretty into it, you know. Here, let me flip you and I'll let you see what I'm looking at. 2016 I was pretty active, you know. And then all of a sudden, from September the 27th to 22nd of 2016 to October the 24th of 2018. That's almost a year gap before I put anything out. That's why I put in about my wife being sick and losing my wife. And ain't that I was wanting a pity party from nobody. It happened. It's a terrible thing. But it happened. What's that? Am? Hey man, hey, how you doing? I'm glad you found it. What do your children do? I got one child, and she's actually a certified nursing assistant here in the United States. She actually works in a rest home. Actually, she just passed through the CNA classes for that. You know, but I went from September the 22 of 16 all the way to October 24th of 2018. I added that into that video just to kind of explain why that gap was in there. You know, I don't want a pity party from nobody. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. It is what it is. Life goes on, you know. But if you look back, and I know a lot of people do it, a lot of people look back through the videos and, you know, they notice them big breaks. They notice that you haven't published in so long and this and that. And that's kind of why I put that in there, you know. Avian, sorry to hear about your wife. Hope your children get most successful. Yeah, I hope she does pretty well too. I've only got the one daughter that's alive. I hope her the best. And thank you about hearing about my wife. And yeah, it's a terrible thing to go through. Appreciate that. But that's why I put it in there about my wife. It ain't that I want a pity party, you know. I mean, by looking back through that video and watching that video, it was like I was looking for a pity party. I was wanting people to feel sorry for me, which was not the case. I'm not looking for anybody to feel sorry for me. I haven't done that my whole life. It is what it is, you know, and life goes on. You learn to toughen up and you learn to go through it. I don't know exactly how else to put it, but, you know, that's what it is. But that whole story that I told in that video about my background, what I went through as a childhood, it pushed me away from people. It pushed me into video gaming because I could do stuff in that game that, you know, that I couldn't do in real life. You know, a lot of people take it for granted that you can run, you can jump. I never had them experiences. I could do it in video games. You know, a lot of times when I played them video games, it was the people that was picking on me that I seen in them video games that I was shooting, which is a bad thing to do, which, you know, try to keep your personal life away from the virtual life can be hard at times, especially when you're being tormented like I was. Area when real life Forrest Gump, get the most success in your life. Yeah, I'm shooting for that. I think I've done pretty well for myself, even though my childhood, my legs, and everything keeps beating me down. I keep getting back up and I keep fighting. And that goes for this YouTube thing too. You know, I'm still a very small channel. I realize this, but I'm not giving up. You know, even if you guys wasn't here with me, even though I wasn't getting every one of my videos, I'd still probably be doing this. I just enjoy the filmmaking. I enjoy the editing process. And it's a passion that I have, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the views. You know, I want to thank you all for the comments and the likes and the shares that you guys do. Yeah, yeah. Let's mention shit on the live stream, right? But anyways, it is what it is. You know, quite a few people in the comments said that I am passionate about what I do, and I am very passionate about helping people. I don't know. It is what it is, and I am a very passionate person. I will kind of wear my passion on my sleeves, you know. Everybody knows it, you know. I try to be more laid back and easygoing nowadays, but it is what it is. Even the channel is small. Your thoughts keep you above the world. Yep, you're right. Dr. Dragon, it sounds like a real good attitude, Dave. Yeah, and that's one thing my legs has taught me, you know, the bullying, you know. You just keep going, you know, no matter what the life gives you. What's that old saying? You know, they give you a lemon, you make lemonade. You know, you do the best with what you've got and you keep going. You know, I wasn't raised in you know, my family was kind of hard times, you know, especially financially and whatnot. You know, you kind of just do with what you got and you keep on going. And that's kind of what I do throughout life, you know, no matter what life throws at me. And it's kind of like boxing, which I didn't put in that video, but I was trained to box. You know, and you know, the more I get hit, the harder I hit back. So it is what it is, you know. Our neighbor, you became my most favorite YouTuber in the world. Will attend every live of you. I appreciate that. I like to keep it on Saturday mornings 11 a.m., but sometimes my job requires me to work on Saturday, so sometimes it ends up being 5 p.m. But usually it's at 11 a.m., which I'm going to get into that here in a minute. But yeah, as far as me showing passion, I do have a lot of passion. I have a big heart. I'd rather help somebody out than see myself succeed. It's just the way I am. It's my nature. So yeah, that was a little explanation behind that video. You know, I don't want a pity party from nobody. Don't expect a pity party. Don't care about a pity party. You know, it just kind of what led me into the video games and into the computers. It's basically why I put that information out there. But that's pretty well the wraps up to the why that video came about. You know, a lot of people was asking me how I got started and why I got started and whatnot. There is, you know, and I said in that video that I got addicted to the YouTube thing or the video making, which I enjoy the video making process. I enjoy being on camera. I enjoy the editing and everything that goes along with it. You know, I just wish I had more time to spend doing it. Which hopefully one day it will come through for me. You know, and I'm going to keep putting in the time and the effort and the money that I need for new equipment, new gear to make it happen. You know, it is what it is, and there ain't much I can do else about it. Let's see here. We had a couple more chats come in here. Austin Gistish, I guess the way you pronounce that. I don't know, I'm probably butchering that one. Like your attitude, Dave. I love your content, so please keep it coming. You can guarantee I ain't going no place. I plan on keeping it up. Actually, my next segue is going to be into some of the videos I've been working on this morning. Dr. Dragon, what's your favorite game of all time? Oh, that's a hard one. That is a very hard question. My favorite game of all time. You know, this may sound a little corny to some of you, depending on your age. But my favorite game of all time, and it actually got me into gaming, would be the original Mario Brothers. You know, if I had time to actually sit down and actually play my favorite games, that would definitely be on the top of my list. And I think it's just because it goes into my past. It kind of, you know, it's kind of sentimental to me, I guess you'd say. Erneva, good night now. I enjoyed so much, and my name is, and she threw a pronunciation in there. But good night. Enjoy your night. I hope you sleep. I hope you sleep well. Let's see here. Orneva. Okay, Orneva. What else we got here? Can't beat Mario games. Yeah, you're right. Mario is one of my favorites. Can't go wrong with a Mario game. I mean, I know I'm old school. I know I'm a little old in age, you know, and everything like that. Yeah. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta take a few seconds here. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Nature called. I had to go take care of it. So you can't beat Mario games? Yep, you're exactly right. Dr. Dragon, take care, Dave. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome, Dr. Dragon. Glad you could join me today. So nice of you. Good night. Hope your kids get as rich as Bill Gates. Yeah, I hope they do too, actually. As believe me, that this will be true and you will be the happiest father ever. Yeah, that would make me happy to see my daughter do better than what I've done in life. Maxter, 1878. Even the new Mario games are incredible. I don't have them, though, as I can't justify buying a Switch. Yeah, I'd like to see. I'd like to see more Mario games come to PC, or even some of the remakes of them. I mean, I know you can go in and you can play the retro games on the PC and whatnot if you like, but it just ain't the same experience. You know, I like to see them do more Mario games for the PC. And I'm like you, I can't justify buying another console or whatever to be able to play the Mario games. And even at that, I don't think the new Mario games are going to be as good as the old ones. I don't know, maybe I'm old school. Maybe my way of thinking is backwards. But it is what it is. I am 14, so I'll go early to bed tonight. Hope you meet successful and please drink alcohol less. It's not good for your health. Yeah, that's what quite a few people said. But actually, a few beers a day is pretty good for you by what doctors say. It helps keep you flushed out. You're only 14. You got a lot of life to live. And actually, as far as my drinking goes, it's usually only on the weekends. Through the week, I'm usually pretty good about the drinking. There may be a couple of days a week if I have a real stressful day, I'll drink a couple at night just to relax my mind before I go to bed. But alcohol, you know, it's usually a weekend thing for me. So I'm not quite a what they would call an alcoholic yet. Hey, yeah, I don't know. I guess I could cut back on my alcohol drinking some. But that's what keeps me in check. As far as the video for this week, I'm kind of confused on what to do. If you watched my previous video on overclocking the Horizon 3600 video, Should you overclock the Ryzen 3600 with the Wraith Stealth cooler? I actually put the Hyper T4 cooler on that, and someone actually commented that they like to have a picture of it. I should have showed a picture of it as I was doing it. Well, we'll pull up here. It's thinking about it. Let the computer, let the internet think about it here. But it's actually just a cutback version of the Hyper 212. It's got 4 heat pipes. It looks just like the regular Hyper 212, besides it only got 4 heat pipes instead of 6. Pretty well the same thing. Right there we go. You got 4 heat pipes that goes down and across the CPU and back up, where the Hyper 212's got 6. So it's basically just a cutback version of the the Evo 212. But anyways, even with that CPU cooler I've got, and this is what what brings me up is, you know, I was going to do an overclocking guide on that 3600, and I still can't do it. The Hyper T4 ain't quite powerful enough to keep them CPU temperatures under check for me. I actually had it running stable at 4.4 gigahertz, but my temperatures was, and it also kind of surprised me, but my temperature was hitting like 106 degrees Celsius to 107 degrees Celsius. I actually got a video if you guys like to see it. Let me know in the chat if you'd like to see the video of it. But, you know, my temperature was hitting 104, 105 degrees. And I thought these processors within Ryzen would downclock themselves or cut themselves back when they hit 95 degrees or more on the temperatures. And this thing ain't doing it. I can't explain it. Which it just kind of tells me that the Hyper T4 ain't enough to actually get the max overclock out of this processor that I have. So I don't know if I'm going to put that up as a video for this week or not, because I feel to give it an honest shake to see what the B550 can overclock the 3600 to. I need a better cooling solution. But then again, it also shows that the Hyper T4, the budget aftermarket cooler, ain't quite up to snuff to be able to handle the heat that the B550 motherboard can put out with the 3600. I'm kind of confused if I ought to put that video out or not, or if I ought to just go ahead and invest and you know, maybe get a 120 millimeter all-in-one, or maybe a 240 millimeter all-in-one to kind of keep it cooler, to see what I can actually get out of this processor. I don't, you know, I'm not too sure on what to do with that video content that I've got already recorded. It took me several hours this morning to do that. Also, I started a second video this morning, which I don't know if I'm going to produce it or not. It's kind of tech related, but not really tech related. With the microphone that I'm using, you know, I had to order a second one. There's a reason why I ordered a second one. Because the first time I ever used it on live stream, I recorded that Saturday morning till I got up to the live stream, started doing live stream. Towards the end of the live stream, I had to cancel the live stream out or stop the live stream because the battery was going dead in it. Which I kind of did a little bit of an unboxing of it this morning, because I did order the second one, which that may be coming up on the channel. I don't know. Which I don't know which to proceed with. The overclocking, you know, it'd be a testimony to the Hyper T4 not being good enough. But and then you got the microphone one that I started. You know, it's the here's actually the port that connects to you, the transmitter of it. It's the Well WM100. I did an unboxing of it and kind of did an overview of this thing this morning. Which I don't know if I ought to proceed with it because it really ain't tech related, but it's kind of tech related. But I ain't too sure on that. Overclocking video, I may scrap it till I get a better solution for the air cooler on it, or to be able to keep them temperatures under check. I got it up to 4.5 gigahertz, and it crashed before the temperatures hit high. I get up to 4.4 gigahertz, and the temperature's reaching 105 to 107 degrees, and it still ain't shutting itself off. Which you can't run a system at that kind of temperatures and expect that CPU to last long. So I'm kind of on the fence about doing that overclocking video for this week. So I'm not sure on what this week's video is going to really consist of. But I will get something up by Wednesday by noon here Eastern Standard Time. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, throw them over there in the chat now, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I don't want to see the comments and the questions and the concerns for this past week on my videos. I think I gave a pretty good explanation on why I did what I did in that background video. And like I said, you know, I know there was a lot of chops, there was a lot of cutting out on that video when I did my background and how I got into computers, and I want to apologize for that. But when you mix emotions with trying to do video, you know, it happens from time to time. I do want to apologize for the chops and the cuts in that video. Of course, I'm still trying to learn this whole video editing thing. And if I had a little bit more time to be able to spend on my videos and on my live streaming, you know, I'd get a little bit better at it. So this week on the videos, I'm not too sure on what's going to actually happen, but I'll end up doing something for the channel this week and getting it up by Wednesday at noon here Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. Also, if we look at the analytics and we're looking at the viewer count here, let's do the last 7 days. The channel, the community's grown pretty good. We've got 21 new subscribers this week. Which means we're up to 973 subscribers. YouTube saying there's only 4 people watching this, so maybe this would be the good time to say it. I'm looking at maybe giving away something for the 1,000 subscriber mark. Don't know exactly how I'm going to do this or how I'm going to pull this off. Because I know a lot of my viewers are from different countries. I know there's import taxes and all this. It may not be much, but it may be, you know, I'm thinking about doing a little bit of something for y'all, just to show my gratitude for subscribing to the channel. I'm not too sure how I'm going to set this up, but I would like to do something for that 1,000 subscribers, because it is a big milestone in my life. You know, I never imagined I'd ever be up to 900 subscribers. Hell, I'm lucky. I never thought I'd ever reach 100 subscribers myself. But it is growing pretty good. For you guys that's loyal to me and comment on my videos and watch my videos, no matter how stupid they are, you know, I think you guys deserve a little bit of something for that 1,000 subscriber mark. So I'm not too sure on how to handle that, but I'm thinking about giving something away. Like I said, you know, I know there's the international tax fees and all that. And I want to try to avoid that somehow. I don't want to make it just continental U.S. You know, even if it's just ordering something through Amazon and having it delivered to you, you know, something like that. I don't know yet, but I'm working on something like that for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Let's see here. Hi, Rev. Hello, Dave. Good afternoon to you. Well, good afternoon to you as well. I have an old i7 6700K. That's an old one, okay. Overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz. Do you think it will still be relevant for another 2 years? I mostly do gaming. 6700K, yeah, I think it'll be alright for the next 2 years. 6700K, of course, that's 4-core, 8-thread processor. Depending on what titles you play, what titles you plan on playing coming up, which I've said in my videos and I've said in my other live streams, you know, if you're going to be building new now, you need to have at least a 6-core processor. But if you already got a 4-core processor, and I mean, you know, that 6700K is a pretty good chip. I think you'll be alright for another 2 years or so. You know, in your AAA titles, you may have to cut it back a little bit to be able to play the games. You know, you may not be able to play on the highest settings. Go to high instead of the ultra settings on the games. But I think you'll be alright. It depends on the GPU you're pairing with it as well. Actually, speaking about that, I got a Ryzen, what the hell was it? I know it's the 1200. I think it's a Ryzen 5 1200 or Ryzen 3 1200. Actually, one on eBay. It's only a quad-core processor. I plan on doing some videos with that and see if it's actually good enough to game in 2020. I'm going to buy some games, you know, some of the more popular AAA titles, do some testing with it, see if a quad core can actually handle gaming today. Which I think that quad core is going to be a little lackluster. It's going to hold back most GPUs nowadays. But that's an Intel chip, 6700K. Like I said, depending on the titles that you want to play and what GPU you match it with, I think you'll be alright for the next 2 years or so. Depending on the titles. And a lot of people overlook that. The titles depends on what kind of CPU and whatnot you need. If it's AAA titles, if it's you know, if it's some of the less demanding titles, you know, you'll be fine for the next 4 years on that chip if it's a less demanding title, depending on what you want to play. And it depends on the resolution you want to play at as well. Because some games require more of a CPU power than other games do, you know. If you're playing 1080p, which I want to assume that you're playing 1080p, 60 hertz, 60 frames per second, you may see a little bit of a holdback on a quad-core processor. But for the most part, I think you'll be alright with most games. It depends on the games and what your GPU is. If I ain't mistaken, the 6700K, let's see what that thing boosts up to. I think it has a pretty good boost speed to it, actually. 6700. You got the 6700K. Let's see here, 6700. Did they make that in a K version? Give me a second here, guys. I'm looking up the 6700K. I don't know if you can buy them things new anymore or not. 6700K. That is a Skylake CPU, 4 gigahertz. And here, let me flip you guys over if you see what I'm looking at. Max boost up to 4.2 gigahertz, 1151 socket DDR4 and DDR3 support. That's pretty impressive. Resolution up to which I'm assuming if you play games, you got a discrete graphics card to it. I think you'll be alright for the next couple of years. Like I said, depending on the titles that you play, but you may. I think you'll be alright as long as it ain't, you know, you got some games out there that really depend on the CPU processing power. You just need to kind of watch that. You know, and kind of, you know, run a program like MSI afterward or something and watch and make sure you ain't hitting the CPU bottleneck. But for the next 2 years or so, as long as you ain't playing Techway titles, the newest and the greatest and the latest, yeah, that quad core should do you alright. Maxter 1878, do you watch any other tech YouTuber channels? Yeah, I do. I do watch some of the bigger guys. Most of them don't know who I am. And actually, that's where I get a lot of my info from for the new stuff coming out. Because they do, you know, they get the new stuff handed to them. And that's kind of where I get a lot of my information about the new stuff coming out, is through the YouTube place. Now, who do I actually watch? I watch Kyle over there at Bitwit. I watch Kerry Holzman. A lot of his videos go a little bit long for my flavor. You know, I really don't have 2 or 3 hours to sit there and watch a live stream. But he's pretty good. He's pretty informative on his stuff. Gamer Nexus, I watch a lot of his stuff because he does a lot of stuff that most people don't do. You know, he gives you the breakdown of it. Greg Salzar, I guess is what he calls his channel now. I watch bits and pieces of his stuff, depending on what he's talking about. Jay's 2 Cents, I watch his stuff. He's pretty informative about the newer stuff that's coming out and what's going on, you know. Linus Tech Tips, yeah, I watch some of his stuff as well. Depending on what he's talking about, depending on what I'm interested in. You know, if they ain't covering newer stuff, then I don't really pay much attention to them. Paul's Hardware, I watch him. You know, he's a pretty good guy. You know, I kind of like his attitude. He's kind of like me. He's kind of laid back, but kind of tells you the way it is as well. Tech Deals, I kind of watch them guys. You know, they kind of give you pretty good deals on products. And they have them codes that kind of save you more money, especially through Newegg, which is where I buy a lot of my products, you know. So I kind of watch them quite often. I watch Tech Yes City. Brian over there, Tech Yes City. Toasty Bros, I kind of hit and miss on some of their videos. You know, I don't always watch all their videos, but I hit and miss on some of theirs. You know, they're kind of more based towards what I do. You know, more of the budget end of things and whatnot. But they take it more budget than what I do. You know, they do the old Xeon processors. They do the pre-built, just slapping a video card into them, which I don't do. Most of my builds and whatnot that I focus on is on the budget side of things, which I need to get more focused on. But, you know, I also look at an upgrade path for you guys. You know, whether if you do an old Xeon build or something, yeah, it's great. It's a pretty good system for today for the price. But within a year or so, you're going to have to be replacing it because it's DDR3 memory. You know, there's no other CPUs available for them motherboards. You know, so when I put my builds together, I kind of look at all that. You know, I kind of look at the upgrade path. And that's why you don't see, I do build with Intel, but Intel I don't do a whole lot with because there ain't an upgrade path to them guys. You know, you get a 4-core processor today, you could do up to a, you know, i7 processor with them within the same time frame, but to actually have frontward compatibility, it just ain't gonna be there like it has been with AMD here lately for the last 3 years or so. But yeah, I do watch Toasty Bros. You know, there's a few guys that I watched a lot of, and they didn't quite make it, or they gave up, or they quit making videos, which I wish they'd come back. But you know, Hardware Canucks, I watch them guys, mainly for their case reviews and stuff like that. They have pretty good content. So yeah, there is quite a few YouTubers that I do follow besides myself. And like I said, you know, them's bigger guys. You know, they got 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers. You know, they get the newest and the latest and the greatest handed to them. Of course, it helps you to grow on YouTube if you can do that. You know, you got to stay on top of the trends to be able to make it. And unfortunately, being a smaller channel, I don't get stuff handed to me. Let's see, High Rev. Okay, thanks for the info. I game on a 2K 444 hertz, playing on the 3080 if I can get my hands on one, but I wasn't too sure if the CPU could handle it. You got the 6700K wanting to put the 3080 on it? Now that changes the situation a little bit. If you're going with the 3080, which is an $800 graphics card, I would definitely upgrade your platform. The 6700 is a pretty good chip, and it can handle most things. But from what I've been seeing on that 3080, that takes a pretty good processor to be able to handle that power that the 3080 can put out. You know, I've had a lot of questions about the 3070 and what they could handle. And from what I've seen from the 3080s and the 3090s, that's a quad, the 6700 is a quad core processor. But I think that processor is going to be holding back that 3080. Wow, that's a hell of a situation to be in. Because that 6700, they even go up to the 9900K, which is going to be a pretty good, depending on your motherboard, of course, being an Intel system. I think that 6700K will hold back the 3080 some. Yeah, the 3080, if you're looking to put the 3080 in a system, you're going to need a pretty good CPU to be able to handle that GPU power. And I believe that 6070 is going to hold it back some. Even if it is not unlocked SKU from Intel, I think it's going to hold back that 3080 some. And again, it comes down to your budget. You know, if you're going to put a 3080 into a system, you got some spendable cash. Because I don't believe the 3080 is where the value is. But, you know, everybody's got their own budget. Everybody's got their own finances. You know, it's hard for me to say one way or the other. But I think that 6700K will hold back that 3080. Depending on what motherboard you have. And, the best that you could do, even with the motherboard you have, would probably be the 8700K. And with the power that 3080 is putting out, it's going to be hard for me to say that even the 8800K, the 8700K, sorry about that, the 8700K wouldn't be holding that back. I think you're going to need a much more powerful CPU not to be holding back that 3080. And if you got the money to put out, you know, what is it, an $800 graphics card? You know, I think it's going to be time for a complete upgrade on your system. You can probably keep your hard drives, your power supply, your case, stuff like that, but your main main system, the motherboard, the CPU. The handle of the 3080, I think you're going to need to upgrade. But I appreciate the comment and the question on that one. You know, like I said, I don't have the 3080 to test. You know, I don't have, you know, I like to get the 3070 to do some testing because I believe that's going to be a very hot item if I could actually be able to get one at launch. But it's already been pushed back, so hopefully by the time it launches, they can stop the bots and I can actually get one for testing. But I think at 3080, at 6700K is going to be holding back at 3080, I believe, in my opinion. But without having 3080 to test. And there ain't a whole lot of people matching the 3080 with the older processor at this point. Which I think a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers are missing out on that opportunity. You know, everybody's mixing them with the higher end components. You know, they're wanting to match them with the 10900K to see what the performance is. That way their CPU ain't a bottleneck. You know, I like to get some of these GPUs coming in to where I can test them with the lesser CPUs to see where the bottlenecks would come into play. That's just my opinion. You know, how much of a processor you need to be able to run said graphics card. I like to be able to do some testing like that, but unfortunately I don't have the means and I don't have the connections to make that happen. But I believe that 6700K will be holding back at 3080. Maybe look online, see if anybody's put it with the 3080, see what kind of holdback there is on it, which I doubt very many people have done that. But maybe one day I'll be able to do that kind of stuff for you. Maybe I'll be able to get that kind of testing done. But it's going to take me a while to get there. But we're growing. We're going to get there. I'm going to make her. I'm holding on. And you're playing on 2K at 144 hertz. Most days going to fall back on the GPU, but not all of it. So it's going to be very questionable if that 6700K is going to hold back at 3080. Personal opinion, I believe it's going to. But I think that's going to wrap it up for today's video, or for today's live stream, guys. Went through all the questions and comments. Appreciate everybody that was here live with me today and asked in chat and whatnot. Really appreciate y'all. Appreciate all the watches. You know, you guys watch my videos pretty consistent. I really appreciate that. The likes, the shares, you know. I really appreciate everything like that. It means a lot to an old man like me. Which I even told y'all in this video, or in this live stream, you know, 45 years old. I'm not a chicken. You know, I'm not a spring chicken. But it really means a lot to me. I'm glad y'all find entertainment or information in my videos. But with all that being said, I think I'm going to get out of here for the day. Make sure you go down there and give me a like on this video if you like this kind of content. Make sure you give me a dislike if you don't. Either way, don't really matter to me. It all looks good to YouTube. Either way. The comment section below, I'll go through them every weekend like I did today on my last show. And with the way my full-time job is looking, I'm going to be able to do it at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. There's no Saturday mandatories coming up anytime soon by what I can tell from my full-time job, so it should stay at 11 a.m. There's also links in the description below for Instagram or Twitter if you'd like to come over there and follow me. Which is where you're going to get the updates about the live show. If I got to cancel for some reason, or if I got to change the time of the live stream, you know, that's where you're going to get informed of that kind of stuff. You know, so yeah, you know, I won't give you inbox, but I'll give you ideas of stuff that's coming up on the channel, you know, as they come into the studio here and whatnot. Mascore 1887. Take it easy, Dave. Have a good week. Hopefully see you next time. You too, buddy. I'll be here next Saturday. As far as I know, it'll be 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S., bud. Really can't wait to do it again. I really enjoy the interactions from the chat. You know, it kind of makes me feel good and make me feel proud. But with all that being said, y'all have a good weekend, a good day, whatever it may be. And I'll see you in the next video or live stream.